couple of minutes for more people to join. We still have 5 minutes more, and then we can start. Thank you for being on time, as usual, you guys.
Mhm.
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome. Nice, you joining. Okay, Robert, nice to hear from you. Iran, Yvonne, uh, Jessa, you doing well? Well, I guess you are. We're waiting a couple of minutes more, and then we will be able to start. Okay? More people are just joining, so let's wait. Jorge, okay. Good to meet in Europe again. Okay. Mm. How many people are we? Ew. More people are joining. Good. Let's just wait 3 minutes more. Hi, good afternoon, Perla. Thank you for
Hi.
joining.
Hi.
How many people are here? Might be ready. Wait. Okay, 15 people. Yeah. Well, I think it's high time we started. The others can join once we go on with the presentation. Well, this is going to be an introduction of the course, English Teaching and Learning. It's an introduction of the dynamics, procedures we are to follow throughout the course, and to get to know each other. We have already set the forum in the Eminence platform for participation and, well, getting along well. But the purpose of this meeting is to check up evaluation, issues of the program, and more importantly, the procedures for the purposes of the learning experience. Um, I want to start by showing the program of the course. I think this is the most important part of the presentation. I want you to read the program carefully at home by your own, to analyze each of the sections of the program, and then if you have any comments, suggestions, recommendations, or even complaints, you know that I'm always open to listen to you. Your perceptions and opinions are very important for me and for the sake of the course. Um, I'm gonna show you the program. This is the first stage up to this today's session. I'm gonna show you the program in a sec. Wait. There it is. There it is. Well, you know, the name of the learning experience is English Teaching and Learning. I think the name of the course is quite relevant just because of two reasons. The first one is that learning and teaching are different processes. However, you know, they are intertwined. There can be teaching without learning, and there can be learning without teaching, you know. Although you can be really autonomous and you can self-direct your learning, there are some components, elements at first, which make up, you know, the teaching and learning process from ancient times, necessary and complementary. If we go back to the Greeks, you know, learning actually emerged from this bound between the two concepts, you know, between teachers and students. This day and age, we are facing a different approach for education, which is online learning and blended learning, flipped classrooms, etc. And it's a good opportunity for reflection and to take advantage of changes in order to reflect on our profession and our current situation as human beings. You know, the second one, the second element which I consider important for the name of English Teaching and Learning is the foundations of teaching. You will see that in order to teach, you need to recognize the processes that learning implies, and that includes your self-recognition, your analysis of learning behavior, learning performance, and to take a look at your background as a learner and the scenarios you actually experience when learning English, whether foreign language, second language, language acquisition, language learning, and that have to do with the different dimensions of learning in the teaching and learning arena, especially English. Well, then you have the figures of the course, you know, a credits, you have the theory, you have the practice, and you will see how I adapted the program for contextualizing learning, contextualizing the teaching approach, which is going to be online. I designed the program for online education. It is thought to be that way. Um, there is a feeling of uncertainty regarding the moment we are coming back to face-to-face lessons, but you know, to prevent those negative feelings, I decided to design the course for online learning, and then we can make decisions through the process, through dates, but it's already established, and I think this is healthy for you as students because it gives you the opportunity to feel secure. It gives you the opportunity for certainty to take place. Well, as you know, this course cannot be evaluated with an exam at the end, so that means that you need to cover all the requirements in order to be successful at it, and otherwise you will have to resit the course. And that's regarding the evaluation. You're supposed to have already taken intermediate English, I hope so. And at the moment, some of you are taking upper intermediate, some of you are taking advanced English, and some of you have already covered that requirement. So and it's not a problem at all. Well, according to the program, as you can see, the maximum of students can be 20. Well, but that's not reality, let's face it. We are 30, 31. That's really complex, especially for the pedagogical implications and for receiving feedback and keeping a dialogue, between um, individuals, and the relationship between teacher and student. But there are some strategies we're going to implement for working with this kind of group, the size, the number of students we got. And I decided to follow this instructional design strategies in order to cover everybody's needs. And I think it's likely to work again. Then you have the academy, which is teaching. Well, this is a branch for research, which I don't belong to, but this program was designed a couple of years ago. But anyways, it has to do with teaching and learning. You have the people who collaborated in the syllabus design. You have the CV of the teacher. Well, most of you already know me. You were my students as far as I can remember. You were my strategy students. Some of you do not know me, but well, you have some references, and, ideas of my curriculum vitae. And if you have any further questions, of course, you can ask me, but that's not quite relevant. The description of the course, well, you will analyze this section at home by your own. You will see that we have both theory and practice hours in the course. I kept, the line of the competences there, which is focused on the language skills and the processes of teaching and learning altogether, and in activities which actually include those the fostering of the competences. The rationale, please, I'm going to ask you to read it carefully at home as well. Please read it, and you will check the foundations of and the nature of the course, the competences again, the access, and you have the theory here finally. Okay, unit 1 is learners, learning context, and teachers. This is very interesting because I'll go back again. As I said, your setting and the setting of learning, all this umbrella that makes up the learning process has to do with recognition, with reflection, analysis, in order to be aware of what you need to do for transmitting knowledge, for teaching, as a matter of fact. You have the students' scenarios, the teachers' context, the learning efforts such as language learning, language acquisition, age, communicative competence, and one of the requirements for the course is to have already taken the language system course, which is going to be fundamental for grasping all the pragmatic and semantic issues of learning. Um, and also we're going to focus on classroom management, L1, L2 in the classroom, seating arrangement, emotions in the classroom, the emotional dimension of learning, which is sometimes underestimated, what's going to be present in every single task we carry out. And then we'll be ready to go to Unit 2, which is the link between learning and teaching, grammar and vocabulary, those soft skills, which have become really popular when learning languages and teaching languages. You can see the soft skills almost in every single syllabus. It's in the curriculum agenda. Vocabulary, developing speaking and listening skills, unit number 3, where you have teaching spoken discourse, the role of pronunciation, peer correction, oral feedback, error correction. For every single unit regarding teaching from units 2, 3, and 4, we have the nature of the skill, the skills and strategies to be developed both by learners and teachers, acquisition processes, learning processes, and the pedagogical implications. Okay, we're going to focus on activities rather than lesson plans. Although it would be brilliant, to come up with lesson plans at the end, but that's going to be too ambitious. For the purposes of this course, we are likely to design activities with well-defined instructions, which include higher order thinking skills, concrete objectives, and clearly stating the foundations and background of the contextualization of our activities. Finally, in number 4, we have developing literacy skills. You have reading, which is we're going to take a look at the relationship between productive and receptive skills, written and spoken discourse, the difficulties for foreign language learners, some reading strategies, pedagogical implications as well, intensive and extensive reading, well, the process of writing, academic writing, compositions, the process of writing, the most relevant difficulties, the pedagogical implications, and how to check up learners' writing development. You have these strategies for learning. Well, basically, you will be designing mind maps. There will be brainstorming, posters, infographics, presentations, videos, recordings, voice notes, and you are to develop certain and specific thinking skills, from the higher order, which are analysis, evaluation, comparison, a discrimination of taxonomies, and also metacognitive skills such as organization, um, collaborative work, commitment, and well, something which is going to be present in the courses. You will see the forms, the models to a certain extent, not model verse, but an etiquette for participation online. Well, I forgot the word, but anyways, it's an etiquette. We'll see methodology, the methodology for teaching. Well, we're going to use the different resources, tools, such as Microsoft Teams, Zoom, sometimes for changing the environment, Google Drive folders, Eminus platform, your UB, from the university email account, Gmail, and WhatsApp, also WhatsApp for individual concerns. Those are the tools we are going to be using. Now, the evaluation of the course was designed a couple of years ago, and it was thought to be face-to-face, a completely different setting. So it changed. We cannot have a test, not even a test that is 40% of the grade. I rather go for formative evaluation when we're working online. It's gonna be completely different, but it cannot be changed in the program because it has already been approved. However, we reach agreement, all the teachers who are in charge of managing this learning experience reach agreement regarding percentages and evidence for evaluation. In a broad sense, of course, I contextualize my own way to evaluate, and I added a little bit of my ideas for the sake of evaluation and for formative evaluation rather than summative evaluation. We have qualitative scoring rubrics for each of the evidence you will be providing with, and those qualitative criteria are going to be sufficiency, quality, property, suitability, etc. I'm going to show you the agreements we reached together, but before that, I want you to read this carefully at home. It's about the evaluation of the course, that if you fail it for any case, you will have to resit it, and there is no final exam or whatsoever, but we have response papers and formative evaluation. You will see that in a moment. Finally, just to cover the program, you have the authorities and the main literature we're going to be revising in this course, which is Brown, Cross, Harmer, Crystal, Nonan, Richards, Peniar, okay, Anderson, Bailey, and well, of course, Scott Thornbury. But that does not mean you cannot come up with your own search for literature. You can investigate by your own, and that would be brilliant because that would enrich, the course indeed, and your activities, which is more important. Now, I'm going to show you the evaluation agreement we came to regarding teachers. I'm going to show you that it's PDF file. It's no, it's not here. It's this one. Okay. This is the proposal for online teaching. It changes, you will see, completely different. It's completely different, distinct. There is an electronic portfolio, which I suggested. The electronic portfolio is kind of a, method to keep track of a student's learning performance and progress. We have this electronic portfolio, which is made up of two main tools and environments, Eminus and Google Drive folders. It's very specific. Every single evidence of your electronic portfolio has got instructions and due time, clear instructions. And I'm gonna be sending you emails continuously, every single week. And you will have the time to organize yourself and to carry out the task following your own pace and rhythm. And I'm gonna be really respectful of that. However, there will be a due time. Some people call it a deadline. And that's gonna be for keeping control of the content. If you, for any reason, do not upload and hand in your task, well, I won't be able to check it just because of the following reasons. I have 150 students, from different courses, and I also need to organize my own time in order to provide with feedback, to evaluate, to design, and to teach. That's that's one of the reasons. Another one is that it does not make sense for you to do a task which has already been covered. The course is designed to follow a learning path. So I suggest organizing yourselves, and I think you will have plenty of time. I'm gonna send you the instructions both by Gmail and by the Eminus platform inbox of each of the activities you need to carry out with the specific dates, giving you at least 1 week, 1 week or 2 weeks sometimes for you to deliver the task. Because I know they are elaborated, they are they take time, they are time consuming, and they need a lot of reflection. And that's why I give you for about 2 weeks or 1 week or 1 week and a half, depending on the content, depending on the topics and the complexity of the task, assignment, or activity. Well, some of my colleagues decided to ask for presentations. Well, I partly agree with that, but to be honest, it's very straightforward to come here and meet up by Microsoft Teams and to present is something with all your classmates while they're with the cameras off, and I don't think that makes a lot of sense. So I decided to change a little bit this because of my previous experience with other courses, and you will see that the tasks you need to do are a little bit different, and they have to do with asynchronous interaction. You will have to investigate, to read, and then to reflect, analyze. After that, to design a presentation, to record yourself in a video, to upload your video to YouTube, then to share the video and the link of the video to a forum, and then in the forum you will have to interact with another classmate, or maybe to go to a Google Drive folder and to exchange ideas on your video. So the main focus of this edition I suggested is classroom interaction, between teacher, student, and between student and classmate. And I think this actually works. It works. It's more meaningful, and well, you will be able to check it by your own when revising the instructions of the activities. That's going to be also part of the evaluation. And finally, my colleagues also suggested including 2 academic essays, argumentative essays, and I do agree with that. I also included 2 response papers. Well, I call it a response paper because that's what I actually expect from you, to respond to the theory, to respond to the practice of teaching and learning. You know what I'm trying to get at with response papers. They are academic writing as well. They are compositions, and they have specific guidelines to follow. But they include this critical thinking and reflection element I'm always looking for. Okay. Well, and that will be it. Okay. Regarding this program. Now, I also designed a calendar, which is a kind of a schedule for administering and managing the content of the course. You will see that we have the main authors such as Crystal, Brown, Harmer, etc. on the right, and we have the content in the middle and the dates to your left. Well, this is just an approximation, okay? I'm sure this calendar will suffer changes. It's natural. But I think it's very important to have an idea of how we're going to divide our sessions, dates, and content. Because once more, this gives students a little bit of, security and certainty. It will be modified according to your development, according to your rhythm of work, and according to your outcomes, learning outcomes. So I will definitely change it. If you check Eminos the very first week you join, well, you might have seen that it was completely different because it was from the previous learning experience. Every single group has got a different personality. Some people like to work with a visual element, some others writing, some others speaking, etc. So a lot of the calendar and the procedure of activity design is going to be focused on your personality as a group. Online education has got a couple of benefits. It favors individuals learning rhythm and pace. So although you will have deadlines, well, you don't necessarily need to wait for the last day to carry out your task, but you can do it before, and that's going to be really helpful for the course, because I will be able to check your work before the deadline, and to provide with feedback and to enrich the course. Let's say if Daniel decides to deliver activity 1 today, that would be great. But if Mary decides to deliver the task on September 25th, that's okay, I need to adapt. That's why I'm giving you a week or 2 weeks for delivery. But what is important is to take into consideration instructions. You need to read instructions very carefully, thoroughly, and to make sure you're following the guidelines in order to achieve the expectations. Because everything is going to be checked and read in detail, okay, and evaluated following these current rubrics I just mentioned. You will see that I made a mistake here. My bad. My apologies to you, because at the end I wrote final exam. Oh, can be more silly. We won't have any exam. Yeah, it's gonna be formative evaluation. I don't think that's gonna be necessary. You know, I forgot to eliminate, delete that part, but I will today, and I will upload it again without this final exam. My apologies to you. Okay. Now, let me ask you, do you have any questions about the program, or do you have any questions about the schedule, or do you have any questions about the evaluation part? Please let me know. I listen to you.
Teacher, I have one question with the portfolio. We are supposed to upload it where? In Eminus and Google Drive? We're supposed to share it to you, or where are we supposed to upload it?
Frida, thank you very much for your question. That's a brilliant question. As I said, we're going to be working with Eminus and Google Drive. I'm going to show you both. That was going to be the next step. But this is a very good opportunity to let you know that each activity has got specific instructions. And in those instructions, you will be able to see where you need to deliver your task, the corresponding one. Sometimes you will have to hand it in on the Eminotes platform. Some others, you will have to do it on Google Drive folders. And sometimes you have to go to Eminus forums in order to share the links of your videos. But what I'm going to do is to send you an email each week explaining the instructions for each task as well as the deadlines. Once you go to Eminus, you will see what you need to do and where to deliver it. Don't worry. And in what follows, I'm going to show you an example there to Eminus and to Google Drive. But you don't need to upload your activities, tasks, assignments in both, just one. And you know why? Just because there are specific procedures which aim at reflection. So if I ask you to upload a task to Google Drive, is because I want you to interact in a certain form. But if I say, no, you need to go to the forum to Eminus, it's because I want another kind of interaction to happen, to take place. And if I say, well, this activity is just for Eminus activities to be uploaded, it's because it's got a purpose, okay? And that will be explained step by step, succinctly and clearly in each of my emails. So it would be a good rule of thumb to wait for my emails and read instructions. You know why? Because you decided to enroll a face-to-face BA and you are used to it, and I know that most of you. On the other hand, there are others who are really autonomous, who like to design their own learning. They are self-learning people, and they can, work very easily on the platform. I've just seen that, 5 or 6 people have already cover 2 or 3 activities, and that's great, you know. However, you just need to take care of the instructions and to follow the instructions carefully, okay? And I'm gonna be stating week by week what you need to do, you know, the deadlines, well, the due times, you know, it's a little bit more friendly, and where to upload your task. Thank you, Frida. Thank you for that. You know, it has to be clear. And I'm gonna explain that in what follows with Eminus and Google Drive Dynamics. Do you have any other questions, queries, or comments? Maybe comments. Well, I think it's too early for complaints, but maybe ideas you want to share. Yeah, who's raising the Max? Please, thank you, Max. Nice to hear from you. By the way.
Thank you. Do you hear me?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. You are going to be specific with the task you are going to ask, or because there is a content in the content part of the platform of Feminus, there are a lot of activities. Are you going to specify which activities are we going to do, or do we need to do these activities adding of the activities that are you asking?
Okay, thank you for that question. And it's close related to the previous one, Max. Thank you very much. I think I'm going to answer your question by sharing and going to the next step by sharing my screen. You will take a look now to Eminus. There you go. There you have. Can you see Eminus? Yeah, you can, right? Yep. You're able to see?
Yes.
Perfect.
Yes.
There you have a presentation, okay? Please, I'm gonna ask you to read carefully, yeah? It says that if you haven't, you need to send me an email in order to participate in the drives folders. You will see that here, but you just need to read it, okay? Then I explain this, check it out. I will be sending you emails continuously for informing you about dates, tasks, deliveries, and dynamics each week and unit. Well, be ready to work online. It's a different approach. One of the benefits of online learning is that everybody follows a different rhythm. You know, that's really important. You know, that favors, you know, individual concerns. However, you know, as you didn't ask for online learning, you didn't ask for online education, I'm gonna be taking care of instructions, you know, procedures, management, and I'm gonna be sending you emails each week. And you will have for about 1 week or 2 to carry out the tasks. They are the same tasks which are here, okay? I won't add any other task, but I'm gonna manage dates, rhythm, outcomes, and content, okay? So you will see at the end of my presentation that there is homework, okay? And that's activity 1, activity 2, and activity 2.1. I'm gonna send you an email today in the evening or in the afternoon. Just be patient because I have a lot of work to get through. But I will send you an email, both to Gmail and to Eminus inbox here, okay? So you need to continuously check both. And there you will have the instructions, okay? For this week until September 25th, you need to carry out the following tasks. The instructions are here, okay? And that's going to be the procedure. All the activities are going to be uploaded to Eminus, but some of them need to be delivered to Google Drive. Okay, I'm going to give you an example. Well, let's explore Eminus. Here you have the program and the calendar for the course. Okay, you read carefully this at home, you take your time, you follow your rhythm, you check the program again, you come up with ideas or suggestions for me, you let me know, you write me an email, you text me, you keep in touch with me, you check the calendar, you try to organize your time, and then you go step by step. Click Unit 1. If you click Unit 1, you will see the order of activities. 1, 2, 2.1, 3, 3.1, 3.2, 4, and you will see that each of them has got due times for delivery, you know, from September 28th to October the 4th. If you, Max, decide to do it on September 28th, that's great, you know, you do it and you hand it in. But if, let's say, Robert decides to do it on October the 4th, well, he can do it on October the 4th before 12 at night or in the morning. You know? So you can see you have this amount of time to organize yourself. But of course, you know, it's not that you're gonna do it there by your own. No, I'm gonna be facilitating the procedures, writing emails each week. Okay, so I think we can kill two birds with one single stone. Autonomous learners, instructions properly designed, and management for those who need in-depth explanations. Okay, I'm gonna be sending you emails of what you need to do. You will see the example of my emails today. Okay, there you have, and you can see that the final activity for Unit 1 is a response paper. It's got the dates for delivery from October the 5th to December the 14th. Okay, but as I said, you know, you can go and start working and read instructions carefully, or just wait for me to let you know what you have to do. Okay. Well, you click here, go to the forums, and you will see that they also follow an order: 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 2.1, 3. Some of you have already covered 2 or 3 activities, and that's great, and you know, that's really good. But you could witness that there were some changes because I hadn't asked you to carry out any. Today is going to be the first instruction, but if you decide to go and start working, follow your rhythm, you're free to, and as long as you follow the instructions, there's no problem. Okay. Here you have the forums. Okay. Check continuously check your inbox. This is an example of something I send you. Welcome. The welcome email. I'm gonna send you an email similar to this with dates, with what you need to do. You have already read Crystal. Hopefully, this is something similar you will be receiving each week. Okay, remember that we have 6 hours a week on Monday, on Wednesday, on Friday, and we'll be meeting according to the development and outcomes from this group. Okay, I'm gonna ask you to carry out the first activities today, so I don't think we have a meeting on Monday, but we might have a meeting on Microsoft Teams on Wednesday or Friday. You will get the invitation to your institutional accounts from the university. You need to join. It's not that we are going to meet every single Monday, every single Wednesday. It depends on your development, but you need to attend. You need to attend because otherwise you won't have the right to be evaluated at the end of the course. Remember that if we have for about 10 meetings throughout the whole course, you need to attend at least 6 or 7, you know, in order to be on the other side. But you know, I cannot have a calendar of meetings because everything depends on your development as a group. Okay, that's why what I can tell you is that you need to bear in mind that on Monday, on Wednesday and Friday you need to take care of those 2 hours from 12 to 2. Okay, those 2 hours are for this learning experience, and that's why you register with that schedule, so you need to stick to it. Whether we are meeting or not, you need to work on those hours, you know. Well, of course, if we are not meeting, well, you can have lunch, yeah, or whatever you want to do, yeah. But if we do, you will be invited at least 2 days before the meeting, okay, so that you can organize your time. Now, let me show you Google Drive. Google Drive has got 4 folders. The first one is the program, and it's got the calendar as well as the proposal for evaluation. Check it carefully at home. The calendar is going to be modified because I made a mistake at the end, but that's going to be done today. Number 2 has got the authorities regarding the course, Crystal, Harmer, and there is an anthology, well, which is a compilation of readings, which is going to be really useful because it's been already it's been already stored in a way that you can follow the sessions. However, as I said before, you are free to add any other kind of literature. You have Noonan, you have Richards, Rogers, Freeman, Penniar, and that would enrich your tasks a lot. My readings are compulsory, and they are my suggestions, but they are not enough. You know, you need to do it by your own, and you can investigate more and more. We have the internet, and now you can do it. Number 3 is the evidence. In other words, your activities. Not all the activities, just the ones which I indicate on Eminus. Okay, factors that affect learning. The first response paper is going to be here. The classroom management, the importance of learning, the teacher's roles and the effective language teacher. That's going to be here. Okay, the others, well, you can follow the instructions. The others are on the Eminence platform, on the forums, or you need to go to YouTube to upload a video, to share the link, etc. Everything is going to be explained in detail. Okay, if you haven't sent me an email requesting, asking to join the folders, well, you need to do it. Send me an email to cruzcliserio@gmail.com and you will be here. Okay. Oh, sorry. No. Yeah. Now, this is important. Number 4. In the folder number 4, you have the evaluation. This is an Excel sheet. If you click it and you open it as an Excel sheet, you will be able to see your progress regarding figures, regarding numbers, your score, your development regarding the activities. It's loading. Here are your names. Okay, it's the second one, evidence development. You will see in a moment, it's loading. Just be patient. Aha, there you have. Oh wait, hold on. Evidence development. Okay, you have here Unit 1. Deadline for delivering the first activity from week 1, which is a form. It's a video. This is the evidence, and this is the percentage, 5%. The content, well, where the language shapes the way we think.
One question.
Yes, sir.
Talking about the video, I didn't find any instruction on putting the video online. It was just put a video online. I was like, okay, like you find in where can I find the instruction on what kind of video you want from us?
Are you referring specifically to the task video?
Yeah, unit 1, yes, the first one.
Well, let me go to Eminus then. Okay.
Because I didn't find any instruction there. I was looking in the activities. I was also looking in the forum, and it says like take a video similar to activities, and it's how language shapes the way we think. That's number 2. After answering the questions and uploading your video here in the activities section, I didn't find any instruction on doing that. That's why I'm asking.
Yeah, Daniel, I'm following you. Here you have number 1, how language shapes the way we think. Let's read it together. I'm gonna send you an email. That's why, that's what I explained before. I'm gonna send you an email with instructions of each of the activity you need to carry out for week 1. I haven't, of course, because this is the introduction of the course. Remember, I haven't. But it says it's a good opportunity for us to, to take an example of this. This activity has to do with the impact of language on human beings. You need to watch a TED Talk. How can you watch it? If you click here, you can watch it. Can you see? Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Let me click it. I click, and it automatically leads you to YouTube. It's another platform, and it's a video. It's a tech talk. You know
Okay.
tech talks, don't you? Yeah.
So it's in content. Then I got it wrong. It's so many
Sorry,
platforms.
I can listen. Sorry.
Pardon. It's so many platforms this semester. It's like messing me up a little bit because it's YouTube and it's Google Forms and it's Google and it's wow.
Yeah, there is a variety of platforms and tools, and I think it's healthy, rather than confusing.
I think it's too much. I'm not used to working even with basically with E-, and we're supposed right now to like work with half a dozen platforms and open up accounts, even though we already have accounts. It's like it's messing a little bit my head up, to be honest.
Oh, well, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, but I'm gonna try to do something different for you then.
No,
Something that can be a little bit.
Don't take it
more
as a complaint.
straightforward.
It's just like messing me up because like so many all of a sudden. I'm not a big technology crack, not a big techno head, so to say. And all of a sudden it's supposed to be like a dozen platforms, or I don't know how many, whatever. I'm just trying to cope with it. Okay, don't take it as a complaint.
No, of course not. Everybody's different, Neither am I, I'm not very good at technology whatsoever. I just like to explore, and I think that if we are learning online, we should explore and we should exploit all the possibilities we got. I'm quite older than you are, and I'm not very good at technology, but the instructions are clear, and that's the important thing, regardless of the platform we're following. However, we can always contextualize the delivery of the tasks, according to your needs. I don't have any problem with that. But if we continue reading the instruction, you will see how clear it is. The activity has to do with the impact of language on human beings. It is a tech talk that you can watch in the Ver Detalle Square, which is the one I show you. First, read Crystal's chapter 1 and Harmer's chapter 5, which is attached here. You know, they are here. Then, after that, watch the video, which is a tech talk. Then answer to yourself, well, ask and answer to yourself the following questions. And there you have the questions. So we have 7 questions here. So you carry out this reflection exercise. And finally, the product. Record yourself answering the questions. Your video must be between 4 and 6 minutes long. So try to be concrete. Upload your video to YouTube platform. Share the link to the corresponding Eminus forum called How Languages Shape the Way We Think, and follow the instructions there. The delivery date is September 25th. So once you have your link to the video, you go to the forum and you will find How Languages Shape the Way We Think.
Okay.
And you will have the instructions here for sharing your link.
Okay, so I guess the misunderstanding was that I didn't get it that you put everything in the content. Sorry, I was a little bit confused because I usually had it in activities and evaluations. That's how
well,
other teachers
not really,
worked
because
with its last semester. So therefore, they're out resulting my confusion, I might say.
yeah, every teacher is different, you know.
Okay, sorry. Thanks for answering my question. I just didn't get it.
I know, and I understand, you know, and I'm gonna be really empathetic with you all, you know. I'm gonna try to cover your needs and to solve your problems, because I understand that this can be frustrating, you know. I completely understand it. You didn't want to work this way, and that's something we need to understand. I mean, it was not your decision, but we need to do something about it. I mean, we cannot be pretending to work as if we were face to face in a platform. This is different, and if we are gonna try it, we're gonna try it well, you know. The course is divided into units here because that's the way a course should be. And that's something that we're going to learn in the course, by the way, you know, how to structure activities. If you go to activities, well, that's just a section, but you don't have anything in order. I mean, there are not units, you can see, you know, and that's not quite a syllabus design. But if you go to the content and you go step by step and you go to unit 1, you will see that there is order. But that depends a lot on the way you are, you know, your learning style, and your previous experiences. As you said, this is very interesting, how you did it last time, you know, and what you expect to do now. But well, you know, let's all be open to help each other, you know, to try to be empathetic. From both sides, you know, from the learning and the teaching side, and I think it's doable. But we can always reach agreement. And you know, after the meeting, Daniel, you and I can have a talk, and you know, we can solve the situation, I'm sure. Okay. Okay.
No
Yeah.
problem. Yeah, no problem with that. I'm just
Okay.
copying the questions. Already
Yeah.
working on that.
Perfect. Well, here you have the forums. You know, here you have the forums. And well, the structure of the course is here in the content. You know, we have divided 4 units. You have feedback, which is something which is going to be covered at the end of the course, so don't worry about it. And the readings again, you know, you have the readings here again, which are going to be useful for your activities. I'm going to give you another example of an activity. Let's see. This one, number 2. This is a piece of research carried out in 2018. It requires relevant elements on the importance of learning English today. Read the text and underline the most important ideas in there. You also need to read again carefully chapter 1 from Crystals and compare the 10 points marked in the text with your own top 10 reasons to learn English. Upload your task in a word, chart, or composition to the following Drive folder. That is not here, but here. The importance of learning English. So you will have to go to the Drive and to look for, oh no, this is not the one. Wait. Oh. Here. Evidence. Evidence. And here it is. Let's suppose you click it, and here you create a new folder. You have it there, and you click it, and you place your chart. Okay, what you need to do is just, you know, to move and do it like this. Could you see? Yeah. Well, that's regarding the platforms. Now, wait a minute. Let me go back. Now, do you have any more suggestions or questions individually or as a group? You can always tell me. If you don't want to now, maybe later, and we'll reach agreement together. Or if you have any comments, it would be nice to listen to you. No? Or questions or theories?
Well, I think
Yeah, Astrid.
I'm Alejandro. Hi.
Alejandro. Sorry, Alejandro.
Yes, I think it's all clear. Thank you. I think, well, I think I can conclude that we just have to wait for your instructions in Eminence, and that will be all pretty clear, right? So I'm just gonna wait for your message in Eminence, and I think I will do everything you tell us about it. And I think it's all clear. Thank you.
Okay, Alejandro. Nice to hear from you again. You know, I'm really happy. This is a great group. Sure, today it's going to be the first instruction. This is the introduction. I'm really looking forward to reading you all, to checking your papers. I was checking your participations on the first forum. It was really interesting, you know, some of the expectations you got, your interests regarding English, and you know, starting from that, I actually modified a couple of activities. Thank you. Yeah, I'm gonna send you an email today, you know, stating what you need to do. Indeed, you will get to know it in the following presentation if we have time, of course. Any other comment or question?
I have.
Yeah, Astrid. Yeah, Astrid.
In the part of activities, on Eminus, we have 3 activities with the same name, the nature of grammar, and I don't know what we have to upload.
But you don't need to work with those because they are from Unit 2 and we are working on Unit 1. But eventually they will be contextualized, you know, and I will let you know when they are ready. You know, once we have Unit 1, we cannot work on Unit 2 because first we need to focus on the basis, you know, of teaching, which is learning. But thank you for your query, Astrid. Yeah, just you know, leave them out and try to focus on Unit 1.
Yeah, and the part of content.
Yeah. Well, if you explore Eminus, you will see that in the content you have Unit 1,
Yeah.
which is about learners and learning.
Thank you.
Yeah, Astrid, thank you, and thank you for exploring the platform. You know. Well, now let's go to a presentation. It's gonna be very fast. Yeah, it's gonna be 15 minutes long. It's an introduction, and also for checking your reading. Okay, I'm gonna share the presentation with you. Okay, here you have. Can you see the presentation? Yes. You with me?
Yep.
Perfect. Thank you for your answer.
Yes.
Good.
Yes.
Well, what is English as a global language? Well,
Yes.
in the reading, you know, in the first chapter, we had a couple of concepts. One of them was English as a lingua franca, which is a global dimension of English. And it was really interesting, I guess, for you to define, you know, how a language becomes global, you know, and according to Crystal, it's got the status of global when it is recognized in every country, regardless of the official label languages could have. A very good example of this could be the United States, which has got English as a global language, and for communication and for everyday interaction, but you know, it's not official, you know. So the concept of English as a lingua franca might represent for language learners a good point for discussion, whether there could be advantages or disadvantages, benefits, you know, or negative points. The main purpose of taking a look at English as a global language is to reflect on the current situation of the language and to contextualize it because we are learning it, and we will become potential English teachers, and some of you are already teaching. Why is English a global language? Well, Crystal provides with a couple of examples of the reasons why English has become a global language and has been spread all around the world. But it's also interesting to check the role it's playing in our context. I was reading your forum participations, and it really caught my eye. One of yours, I can't remember who, but posted that you decided to study English just because everything you like is in English. And well, that actually represents an invitation to reflect on, the reasons why you're studying English, and what the impact of the language is on your context, as well as settings which are further alike. And I think that shapes, to a certain extent, your perceptions on both processes, learning and teaching. Because on the one hand, if you want to play video games and you decide to just follow your gut feeling and then try out different buttons in order to succeed in the game, well, you are using certain and specific procedures, and cognitive processes in order to achieve a task, to reach a goal. But then when you start reflecting about the way you did it, and how to name each of the processes you experience, you're likely to understand how you need to transmit, in which manners you need to teach in order to cover, everybody's needs, everybody's backgrounds and differences. This is quite relevant, for starting to become a teacher. It's a self-recognition process, and it starts here, with the exploration of the language we speak and the language we are learning or we acquire. Then you have some information in the chapter regarding the interpretation of the global status of English, which has to do with power, according to sociologists' research, and Crystal actually summarizes it very well, by saying that this has to do with economy and with issues of political power. So you have 3 dimensions to follow regarding the reading. That is the language, then the English language, the use of English as the language of certain branches, certain fields, and in the impact of internet, and entertainment, sports, media, etc. Now, one of your tasks is includes this reflection, the places, or the situations where English can be around. And I think, wow, you're gonna place in the table a lot of situations where you can find English, and I could see that in your participations regarding the first forum. Now take a look at the following exercise. Okay, it says underline the word which doesn't collocate with theme. You have main theme, large theme, important theme, central theme, and major theme. You might be trying to answer this question, to solve this problem, and you could both trust on your gut feeling and to say, well, to me, this one does not sound natural. Or you look up, the collocation in a dictionary properly on the web. There are different approaches to solve this, but the main point would be that we make decisions all the time, and the way we solve the problems, and specifically language problems, when we're learning or acquiring, we go back to our background, whether we learned English in a second language context or in a foreign language context, or if we attended a private institution, or a public institution, or if we learned English when we were children, or if we started learning when we were teenagers, or we did have comprehensible input by our parents, or the first authority was the school. You know, all these things have got an impact on the way you learn, on the way you acquire language, and hence, you know, unconsciously we have an impact on the way you teach. Of course, if you decide to be a teacher, you need to know all these processes, all these concepts, all this umbrella that makes up language learning in order to design and implement tasks, activities. Another example could be, you know, fill in the blanks. When you have the presentation has had a strong impact on me, or influence on me, or effect on me, or they asked me to try out the lexical approach, or they wanted me, or they urged me, you know. So you have several options here, and the way you make decisions has to do with all that background I was referring to. The same happens when you go to different skill, which has to do with whether vocabulary, or pronunciation, or intonation, you know. And you know, most of you started listening to music in English when you actually reflected, you know, on lyrics. You started different processes, or when you started playing video games, and you know, and you just repeated the way it sounded, and then reflected on phonemes. So all those processes need to be really clear for potential teachers to develop professionally, and for growth to take place. These processes could be whether acquisition or learning. Now, one part which has been underestimated in our context are the emotions we have towards English. Some of you are learning English as a foreign language at the moment, and whenever you have an interaction with an English native speaker, might feel sometimes frustrated, or might feel that the native speaker has got, you know, certain advantages for the input they have experienced. On the other hand, you can also have some feelings of fear, because your mother tongue is threatened, you know, or national languages are in danger. So once you identify your English context, where you are, what you've been through, whether you acquire, whether you learned, it's good to reflect on the emotions that emerge, you know, from your interaction with the language, you know, because that way you are likely to situate and contextualize activities in a suitable way. Now, according to Crystal, the current situation of English this day and age, we can see that we are in this critical period, you know, of changes regarding education, languages, gender, multiculturalism, you know, colonization, decolonization, deconstruction. So we could have two consequences, and regardless of the year this was published, you know, the second edition in 2003, if I can remember well, we can still discuss, you know, these consequences and implications of the English language situation, and that could be the benefits of becoming a lingua franca, and you know, and this lack of sense of belonging, or you know, the motivation for learning other languages, or even a lack of analysis of the language. This has to do with linguistics, and that's why one of the requirements of the course is to have already covered the language systems course, and we check it in detail. Now, there are certain elements to take into consideration for understanding the role of English, as a foreign language or as a second language. And when learning or teaching, one of them is the motivation. You need to take into consideration that some students learn English for specific purposes, or because they just want to communicate, or because they want to go abroad, or because they want to sit for the test and pass the course, or different kinds of motivation, whether intrinsic or extrinsic. Effort, commitment, and progress for building an appropriate classroom atmosphere that might lead to avoiding feelings such as envy or frustration or anxiety or stress. Wait. Okay. And now that we're talking about this emotions and feelings from both processes, well, this is going to be your first week, for work. Today we have the introduction. This first week is going to be focused on activity 1, activity 2, and activity 2.1. You can read the deadlines there carefully. September 25th, September 23rd. But as I said before, today I'm going to be sending you an email for explaining what you need to do and the task you need to cover for this first week. So wait for the email, please, or start working by your own. Now, following Crystal, the term second language is a very touchy one, and we need to be really careful with this. It has to do with the activities you are about to carry out. A second language could be understood as, the situation where language is the main vehicle for communication. This has been stated by different authors such as Cameron, Oxford, or Krashen. It's very interesting how Crystal actually sheds light on the fact that second language can also be understood in a different manner, and that's why he says, be careful with the term, analyze it, get to a conclusion, and be analytic, the most important part for concepts regarding language learners and teachers variables is that you can identify, the context you are in, or you will eventually, in case you go abroad and you start teaching English or your mother tongue or French, and who knows, right? But this definitely, the fact that you actually discriminate the concepts lets you design and implement appropriately. This is going to be there in the first chapter. Some of you have already read it, and if you haven't, you need to. Now, as a summary, what makes a global language is a global dimension of learning, teaching, and policies. Has to do, well, the policies and the authorities have to do with issues of power, according to Crystal, and economy. And it also questions, you know, the popularity of grammar and vocabulary, which is the you know, one of the most popular perceptions for the Mexican education agenda. You know, whenever they think of English, they think of a structure rather than a communicative competence, which is very interesting to reflect as well when approaching English as a global language. According to Crystal, why do we need a global language? Well, he comes up with a couple of suggestions, you know, communication, traveling, multiculturalism, bilingualism, global language. And this has certainly not changed a lot, you know, but we could come up with a couple of, you know, suggestions or contributions regarding this question in your activities. What might be the dangers of global language emerging? Well, benefits and dangers, you know. Dangers could be the laziness for studying languages. It could also be the death, you know, language death. Some of them are already disappearing, and well, we can go back to the Babel Tower and remember the Genesis book, and you know, see the pros and cons of a lingua franca. Crystal summarizes this very well and underlines the most relevant aspects for you to consider and to store for your activities. Now, the dynamics of the class are going to include the electronic portfolio, sessions on Microsoft Teams, Eminus, your Gmail account, and Google Drive folders. You need to be on the alert regarding your UV University's account for the invitations that might be sent to you. And the agreements, well, the agreements are going to be reached individually and as a group. You know, I think the evaluation has already been discussed, and if you have further suggestions, well, you can tell me after the presentation. What the homework, which is going to be sent to you by email, and finally, the implications of English as a global language and the current situation and the future situation. One of the objectives of this Unit 1 and the first activities is to take a look at the future of English and to place yourself in a context where you know what to do, what for, why, and where you are going. Okay, those are the potential implications we're going to discuss after revising your first three evidence, your first three activities. These are my references. Those books can be found in both platforms, Eminus or Google Drive. And I sent you an email. I think I wrote my mobile number in a wrong way. This is the correct mobile number. You can text me or send me WhatsApp if you have some individual concerns, an emergency, or you can send me an email to cruzcliserio@gmail.com. Okay, hold on. Now, this is gonna be the procedure. I'm gonna send you an email today in the evening, explaining your tasks, what you need to do, as well as specifying the due times for delivery. Does that sound good to you? Is that all right?
Yes, teacher, it's all right.
Yes,
Thank
teacher.
you. Oh,
Yes,
yeah.
teacher.
Oh, great. Now, what are your concerns? What are your questions? Do you have any questions about Crystal? You know, the first chapter, if you read Crystal, or if you have questions about the dynamics of the class, let's take advantage of this 5 more minutes we have for discussion and to enrich, you know, information together. Does anybody have a question or comment? Maybe
Teacher?
a comment. Yeah.
Do you will share the presentation?
Of course I will. I'm actually recording the session. It's gonna be in unit 1.
Ah, okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
That's my only question.
Yeah, Luis. Thank you, Luis.
Don't worry. Thank you, Jude.
Good to hear you. Yeah, I'm recording the session. Yeah, I'm recording the session. That's gonna be uploaded to Eminus. Any other question or comment? No? Or now? Yeah, we have time for complaints. Yeah, now is the time. No? Really? Or you're some curious or no? Contributions? Well, I guess it's you know, clear, crystal. It's crystal,
Well,
right? Crystal clear.
yeah.
Thank you very much. Well, I send you an email today. And I check your work. I will be checking the forms as well, and if we are meeting on Wednesday or Friday, will depend on the development of the group, but I will let you know in advance, okay, with time for you to organize yourself. Good? Cheers. Thank you very much for your time. Thank you very much for your energy, you know, for your commitment, for your attitude. Those are tough times, I know, but I appreciate it for your efforts. It's really valuable for me. You know, everybody is struggling nowadays. Everybody is. And just let's support each other, shall we?
Yes,
Thank God.
teacher. Thank you.
There is one God, eh? There is
Thank
one
you,
God.
teacher.
Thank you.
Thank you, teacher.
Thank you. I'll see you around. We keep in touch.
Thank you, teacher. See you later.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Bye, bye, bye.
Thank you, teacher.
Bye,
Later.
teacher.
Take care. Take
Have a
care.
good day.
You too. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Goodbye, teacher.
Bye, bye, bye. Nice to hear from you.
Thanks, teacher. See you.
Bye.